In this video, we're going to look at the first problem in the worksheet that deals with drawing a graph from an equation in slope-intercept form. So here's the problem we're going to work on. Y equals 1/4 x minus 1. Now before we do that, I'm looking at the graph, and as we said, a graph like this doesn't make any sense. So I want to try to make it realistic in some way that makes sense to me. And we've sort of agreed that we're going to use temperature a lot of the time. So I'm going to have this graph represent a temperature change. So that means the y-axis, this is going to show the degrees, right? We're doing temperature, so that'll show the degrees. And across the x-axis, which is almost always time, I'm going to make this hours. All right, so now the graph, at least it's got some semblance of reality, right? It's got some degrees and hours. It's going to show temperature change. So before we do the problem, let's take a look at this is the general form of the equation, right? It's y equals mx plus b. And remember, we said the m, this represents, in our case right now, this particular instance, how fast the temperature is changing, right? And then we also said this b, this is the temperature, the y value, the temperature when time equals 0. And what that means is this axis, remember we said this was hours, right? Back and forth on the x-axis. And here you see the values are -5, -4, -3, all the way down. And right here is 1, is 0. So that's when time is 0. That's when right before anything actually happens. So I want to know the temperature at this time. And looking at the equation, and if we look at it in the form, the general form, this number right here, this -1, remember that represents the temperature when t is 0. So that's going to be -1, that's going to be right here. So I know that that's going to be 1 point on my line. Now all I have to do now is use this value, right, which tells me how fast the temperature is changing, and I can find another point. Now remember that 1/4, when we talk about how fast the temperature is changing, this means it's going to change, and since it's a positive number, the temperature is going to increase 1 degree every 4 hours. So if I work from this point, from the one we just plotted there, and I know it's 1 degree every 4 hours, I'm going to go up 1, right? I'm going to go up 1 because that's 1 degree, and then I'm going to go to the right 4 hours. And right there, that's going to be another point on my graph. Again, I started from the value when t was 0, this guy right here, and I used the speed, how fast that temperature is changing, to find the other point. So it's 1 degree, positive is up. I went up 1 degree, I went right 4 hours. That was my second point, and all I have to do now is join those 2 points, and I got a line. Done.